За энэ юугаа тайтлаас ялах юм байна. Юу л ингэ ярьчаа. Betboom. Yes. Dota 2. Тэнгис явлаад. Энд гэсэн лүг гарцсан шүү дээ. Ай яй. Live. Dota-га гаргаад browser-ийн хамгийн дээр нь тавиад Trump. Ой. Browser-ийг харуулад window capture outsource Chrome. Yes. Then thumbnail харуулж сурмаар ч юм шиг яац ч оруулт юм бол та.
Болооч.
Мэдхгүй шүү дээ янда энэ.
Амар авархаа. Тог хэлээ.
Амар аварх яа. Гэмиг болоход
мэдрэл муутай авах нь чадах байх гэсэн.
Гэмиг болоход за Катис прогийн стрим дээр өөрийгөө нэг рекламдаад тэгээд let's go.
Бандуулах юм.
Бандчтай.
Бандчтай тиймэрхүү баг.
Counterpoint, it is not mid Kunka. It is mid Razor.
Oh, they swapped it up.
За. Драфт л манай Betboom бол гайгүй санагдчихна надад бол. Very winnable game шүү дээ. Very winnable game гэж авч. Ой миний стримний нөгөө юм уу алдагдсан шүү дээ. Нэг fit to screen. Scratch to screen юм шүү дээ. Оо борог нь яачлаа. Нэг scratch to screen. Yes. Okay. За нэг хүн бол ороод ирсэн байна. Тэр чи юу аа?
Үш. Би тоглож байгаа шүү.
One of the best leftover options, so it's okay. I do think Falcons will probably still win though.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my prediction before you
жоохон айтм
weigh me
авчирч.
anyway, Fever. I'm gonna go with Falcons. If something just rubs me
жоохон
wrong
багаад
about the TV pick,
авчирч.
I think it's gonna be really strange. Like they have really good heroes to sit on lanes to enable the Tiny Mirana, like Mira mentioned, but I don't know who moves with the Tiny Mirana. Like Centaur wants to sit his lane for like 15 minutes. Same with TB, same with OD. So I just think Falcons will be all over the place, low cooldowns, consistent pressure, and they can. And like OD, we've seen struggle when the opponent can just jump him. And Alchemist as a carry does that pretty well. So and you also have Bat Rider, you have multiple.
Амар cover татвар тавьчихлаа шүү.
Okay, and then if Betboom is gonna win this, on the back of who
I'm
are they
sticking
gonna
to
do?
Falcons.
Yeah, I know, but on the back of who would Betboom
Honestly,
win?
I think they scale better if they get there. Like I think if they
Super
manage,
late.
yeah, if they manage to like. That
Энэ
doesn't even have
өвдөд
to be
их
like
зурж
super
болно.
late. I think if they manage to like hold off this Alchemist,
өвдөд жоохон лүүсэр
like Axe timing on the
Нөгөө
Kunkka, the Radiance timing on the Alch, like if that 15 to 20 minutes goes smooth for them, then I could see them taking it, but I just don't see that happening.
Scale much better on Betboom.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Very strong scaling.
Well,
compared
that
to
means
Falcons.
they have a shot.
Yeah, тэгтээ
Here
нөгөө
at,
TP ч бас
tying
лэнэ
the
амар
series up.
яддаг батар шүү дээ.
Will we see a game 3 or will Falcons once again have a 2-0? Let's find out with our commentary team.
Амар яддаг батар. За 2.6-ыг нь what the fuck. Савлаад аа тийм шүү дээ. It's fine. Don't got this. Fuck. Care.
Falcons versus Betboom game 2. Just in time for the pause, ladies and gentlemen. welcome. Suns fan here with Cinderin. Falcons have yet to lose a
цоц
single
тий.
game in
Син
this
одоо зэр
second
муу юм
group
байна.
stage. Pretty
Син
damn
өдөөсөө-
impressive, and I have to say, a
Соронгууд нь
lot of
удаас
these
нарыг
games they're
цогцолтолсон.
down
Харин тийм
at some
шүү дээ.
point as well.
Тэгэл
Тэгэл
одлолч чинь.
And
Тэгэл
this patch, it just feels like it's so hard to come
Yeah.
back from a laning stage loss, but this
Certainly.
team has been extremely consistent at being able to do it. And it's just their execution. It was there's some sloppy points in the last game, but against any other team so far, they have just looked better.
It's going to be a matter of what the panel talked about. It's going to be a matter of pacing here for Betboom, which you could argue is a little bit of a concern based on what we saw in the game just prior to this, that Falcons, the time of the game that they really start kicking it up a notch is where Betboom should, in theory, be having the hardest time this game. Which is exactly around that Radiance, Alk, Kunkka, Ags timing, 15 to 20 minute mark that BSJ was talking about. This is where Falcons can truly bring themselves ahead in this game and then never look back. Betboom's core combination here is the TB plus OD, I find kind of greedy. But we've seen duos like that work quite well some of the time. Nice arrow here from Toronto. Tokyo will ensure the rune. They're actually going to do some decent damage to crit as well. Pulling him away here. So let's see if Betboom can get across that point. Definitely, if the game goes late enough, I really like their chances. So.
Okay, let's see.
Sorry, who? I wasn't listening.
That's okay. Try to guess.
Well, you sounded
Түрүүний
like you
драфт бол
were
яг үндэ скил
trying to root for the
байгаа юм шүү
underdog,
дээ.
which is Betboom.
Өсөрдөг батартай юм байна.
Nice arrow.
Лэнүүд нь гайгүй юм байна.
By Betboom.
Тэгээ
Good call, Cinderin.
бүр уртын гейм дээр хаж.
Do you agree with
Тэдний жоохон
BSJ that the
айл нэг тайминг
TB
агаад
feels a little bit
байна.
out of
Кокагийн
place in this
агнинтэй Лэдмэлтэй Бекибитэй.
he is a TB master, of course.
I mean, not necessarily out of place, but I think the pairing with OD and then considering you are against
Бекибитэй.
this
Бэтэстэй.
bat is a little bit concerning. I think the reason BSJ feels this way is because of the OD pick, right? I don't think it would look the same to him if this OD was, if it was a tiny mid and they ended up picking another 4, or if they picked a different pacing type mid than the OD. Because I think something, when you just look at this lineup, it just, I can see why it feels a little bit off. I share the same like concern, but I don't think it's, it might just be a slightly outdated perspective as well, and we're just a little bit sticking to
kind of bad.
A mindset that might be, you know, a couple months old here about whether this is likely to work. Because greedier lineups have been doing better in this tournament than I would say the last couple of months.
Other than Enchantress as a 4.
Yeah, she's not greedy though.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
She builds greedy.
Yeah, but the hero isn't.
Okay.
I think maybe part of the problem, we were talking about this the other day, part of the reason Ench's win rate isn't so good is that Ench is itemizing for herself instead of the team.
Yeah.
A lot of supports in this patch are buying like team items like drums, force staff, glimmer, greaves, and a lot of the Enches we see buy like Dragonlance, and they buy Mage Slayer. Or maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe you're just not, because what if the enemy team just doesn't go on you then? Then what? You're not going to help your teammates. You can't protect them. They become the target. Your damage isn't significant enough for it to really matter. So maybe that's where they need to.
I don't know. It does feel significant enough, though. Yeah, it's a strange one. I can't remember a time in Dota history that a hero's had such a bad win rate we just can't figure out why.
No, it is
very
really
odd.
bizarre. It's fair to say today that it should have won its game.
That's sad.
I feel like I've seen that game 100 times the last month.
You would imagine some of the losses Ench falls behind and things just go wrong, right? It's not always doing great.
Yep, not always. As Nightfall is getting burned by crit. Fairy Fire pops Torrent from Amar. First blood crit. Now Toronto Tokyo does have the 3 leaps, and it doesn't matter. The Tidebringer from Amar will snipe him out. And already the offlane going quite well for Falcons as a result of that.
I don't think I've seen Crit and Amar lose a lane this tournament.
It's quite the combo.
Have they lost a lane?
I mean, maybe, but I don't actively remember it.
Like, this is even one that on paper isn't inherently obvious that they're going to find kills in, but they just double killed in the lane with Bat Kunkka level 2.
Yeah.
Right? Just finding the little moments of opportunity and absolutely maximizing it. Already will lead to a great start for Amar, who It's really been fascinating to see how
He's
fast he has
really
improved. He was being criticized, I want to say half a year to a year ago, for having too small of a hero pool. Now at this point, he's playing a variety of heroes. He's not always only going selfish items, and he's just always finding very big impact in the game. So he has really improved, and I think he feels very much at home in this team with the teammates he's playing with.
It just feels like you can't really ban enough heroes
You can't.
against this team.
And I think perhaps that is something that other teams need to stop trying to do so much, perhaps. Maybe a better way of targeting this team is to ban out
Одоо очиж штэ маань.
other
Дөрөв
key heroes.
кагийн
I just don't think they have enough bans. I think their hero pools are...
Every team is still trying to figure out how the meta works in the draft phase against a specific team because they're just so unique. And, I mean, so far, Miero is doing quite well in his lane. That's the one hero for Betboom that's definitely holding his own right now. And I know I brought it up before, but I do like the fact that Miero was picked up as opposed to Pure. Not that Pure was not good, but it felt like a lot of position ones on the same team, a lot of cores. A little bit too greedy.
They maybe had too much of the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
And Miero just plays pretty much every offlaner, and he's extremely solid.
And it's also because I think the way you play position 1 in this patch, in this current meta, isn't well aligned with greedy offlaners. That doesn't mean that in a few months from now that someone like Pure, who's currently playing carry, if he plays offlane again, then maybe it's going to be outstanding, right?
Save with the Avalanche. Snake King gets hoof stomped now. Will die. Skeeter, though, coming in with the concoction. Toronto Tokyo. The arrow not going to hit. Save. Still dies. So results in a 1-for-1. And in terms of the Alchemist games, Syndra, you're known for that. Not playing it, of course, but commentating it. How does this game look for the old Alch boy?
Quite good, given that he has a good start, I think. We'll see if Amar manages to outrange this.
Avalanche is there.
This is a big kill.
Toss back, also there. Amar is dead. Nice pick off from Betboom. Much needed.
For it, but they get it. Yeah, so Alk, I think... in a game like this, Alk, an Alk playing from ahead and with momentum can definitely play well into these cores. It's concerning down the line because Terrorblade and OD both do very well against Alk, especially when his BKB runs out. OD is gonna eat him. The timing that Falcons are playing for actually works quite well against TBOD. So it's just a matter of pulling off executing the strategy, which has not seemed to be a problem for Falcons so far in this tournament, to be fair. It's been very much on point. GPK. Oh dear.
Link.
He already used his banish.
OD. That'll be the death of GPK. Malrine takes it for himself. Of course, kind of an old school counter to OD. As he's going to go high ground and find himself a little Toronto Tokyo action. Riding on his little bunny rabbit. He'll be forced to use all his leaps. Get out with just a sliver of HP. It's funny, we were just talking about that interaction with Static Link on Astral Imprisonment. To actually see it this time. Stampede. Save. Gets off the Avalanche, but his Frostbit.
Arrow not even really close.
Yeah, if the hitboxes were about 10 times as large, maybe.
Still better hitboxes than CS2, of course.
Yep, that's right. Actually, the hitboxes are fine. It's more the tick rate, like I've told you. I'm trying to educate you here on this Counter-Strike.
It's fine. Just trying to appeal to my co-caster here.
Okay, appreciate that.
You really like when people shit on your favorite game of all time.
Miero, not quite done with the helm. As Snake King doing a lot of work in the jungle with these stacks. That is going to be very juicy for Skeeter.
Yeah, Betboom, the question is if they're going to scout this out now. Save is going to walk up here, see it. Maybe try to steal some of it.
Yeah, he does have the Avatos to try to steal if he wants. Concoction's coming for him as Snake King coming from the south. So the Tiny ends up being just, oh, wait a second. Actually, might get away.
Early on the frostbite there, still going to die.
Yeah, will end up dropping. So it ends up being a creep for Skeeter to farm up along with the stack. Worth a little bit more though.
That's kind of even though. He stole a decent chunk of the stack and they needed to work for like 20 seconds to kill him. So that's time not spent farming after Skeeter could have cleaned up that stack. But still, the fight happens at a good time for Snaking to get in another stack here at 9 minutes.
Yeah,
that is
it all worked out.
That is still going to happen for them. And another stack there from Crit. Skeeter, fair to say, it's going to get very rich this game.
Is there any, I personally haven't seen it yet, but is there any alternative to Radiance on the Alk these days?
Not really, I think. It's just too good. This item has been buffed a couple of times, right? So it's even better now than it was last patch, when everyone was also buying it. So,
yeah, more evasion. Well, I guess it's not evasion, it's mischance. Not quite the same.
Mischance is much better.
Yep.
Because it also works for your teammates.
That is correct, Cinderin. Very good. So we'll see if Miro ends up wanting to actually finish off the Veil first, or if he wants to get super active. I think it was one game we saw where he went Helm of Ironwill into Blink.
Yep.
But not sure if this... You think that this is a game where they need to get active relatively early to give some space to the TB?
I think that's what they were hoping not to be necessary, but if Falcons are going to farm at this alarming rate, I think you're going to have to try to put a stop to this Alk play. And then, what's your combo? Centaur, Tiny Mirana, like maybe?
Malrain had an idea that something was coming for him. And it will be
Got this one.
the 4 members of Betboom.
It's a good kill, which is going to give them some momentum on the mid tower. This timing is particularly good at minute 10, so well planned out. See if Falcons even try to defend this tower at all, or if they're just going to keep turning this into farming time.
Well,
they will defend.
TPs are coming. Amar with the X. Torrent connects onto the OD. Flame break back into the boat as